Welcome back. Time now is 7:09 on this Thursday morning. As we've been telling you this morning, the FDA is out with brand new guidelines for COVID. For some, it's creating questions. For others, lots of concerns. Dr. Mali is back with us here to take a closer look at this. We know that there are I feel like the guidelines have been changing, right?
They have.
Almost like super rapidly, almost daily, right?
Yes.
So where do we start trying to figure out where the guidelines are right now and what we need to do for our family?
What is different now is that actually the FDA has changed what each vaccine is approved for. So until yesterday, vaccines were approved, basically anybody could get virtually any vaccine. And now certain age groups cannot get certain vaccines without, given conditions. So if you are under 5 years old, you can no longer receive the Pfizer vaccine. Your only option is the Moderna vaccine, and the FDA has only authorized the Moderna vaccine if you have underlying health conditions.
So
it's not approved if you are a healthy, well person.
Okay.
So there are now additional limitations.
So specifically, it almost seems like we're splitting hairs here, right? Like we're talking Pfizer, Moderna. There is so much to keep track of and figure out. Why one vaccine over the other?
So really, this is more a political issue than it is a scientific or medical issue. To be really clear, the science has not changed. The science still states that people are at risk for COVID, and actually children 2 and under, and that 6 months to 23 months are at great risk, just like old people are. And so to be honest with you, the decision made by the FDA is not scientifically the most sound decision, but I am not sure, I don't understand or wasn't deep in it to know why Pfizer's vaccine was not approved in that age group.
So if I am a parent of a child under the age of 5,
yes,
and what kinds of questions do I need to ask about the differences between the two vaccines, and where do I even begin?
You don't have the option.
Okay, so it's not
anymore.
Even really a question.
You no longer have the option of receiving the Pfizer vaccine. Your only option is to receive the Moderna vaccine now, and your options are to receive it off-label.
Okay.
If you have a healthy, well child, or if you have a child with underlying health conditions, you're good. So the off-label use of the Moderna vaccine for children 6 months to 5 years old is going to be a discussion you'll have with your pediatrician, because I highly doubt that pharmacies are going to provide that vaccine off-label. And pediatricians may or may not feel comfortable doing it because of the liability risk.
This sounds, tricky for so many reasons, especially as we're heading into the cold and flu season,
yes,
back to school,
yes,
the month of September.
Yeah.
I feel like this is always the time when more and more kids get sick. What should you be thinking about as a parent, and what kinds of questions do I need to ask, and who?
Right. So the other guidelines that came out from the American Academy of Pediatrics did state that COVID vaccine for children 6 months to 23 months is a highly important vaccine.
Okay.
So I do think it is worth the conversation with your pediatrician. For older children, COVID vaccine is still valuable to get, but not as essential if you have a healthy, well child. So it is going to be an important thing for families to talk about with their pediatrician.
For sure.
Yeah.
So many questions, a lot to unpack here.
It's
All right. Thank you, Dr.
definitely
Mali.
going to be a shenanigan.
Yeah. Thank you for making sense of it all. Troy.